So hello, my name is Dr. Ian Sandel and I'm one of the admissions tutors here at the Department of Electrical Engineering and Electronics at the University of Liverpool. I'd like to spend this short video just talking to you briefly about how we've embedded employability and industrial interaction throughout our degree programmes here in the department. So we realise and have a strong ethos that it's really important that the graduates that we turn out have excellent career prospects, and to do that we need to make sure that they really understand how industry works and gain vital skills throughout their degree in terms of being able to work effectively in an industrial setting. So to help us with that, all of our programmes are monitored by an industrial advisory board. So these are representatives from a number of large companies across the UK. So we have representatives from Airbus, from Jaguar Land Rover, from Arm, from Scottish Power, etc. And we meet with them several times a year, and they help make sure that what we're teaching you in our course, in the courses, are fit for purpose. That what we are teaching you are the right skills, the right tools, the right pieces of software as to what they're currently using in industry. The Industrial Advisory Board also come in for events like our Year 1 robot races, and they watch that and they sponsor some of the prizes. They come in as part of your final year dissertation projects, and they will look at the projects at the end of the your time there. They'll probe you about what you did in your project and really get to understand what you did, and things like that. Members of our Industrial Advisory Board also act as lecturers on some of your courses. So for some of your modules, you will actually be guest taught by somebody currently working in industry. So you may be doing a module on sort of electrical power distribution, and someone from Scottish Power or EDF Energy may come in and give one or two of those lectures to explain how these things are actually used in practice in the real world to really help you understand that. We also use our Industrial Advisory Board for holding regular employability summits. So we have another video on our interactive virtual zone here of a recent employability study, summit, where a number of these members of the Industrial Advisory Board came in and they worked with students and staff, and they helped explain some of the skills they're looking for, some of the attributes they're looking for, and the students found it really useful, and I really encourage you to just watch that video for a few minutes and sort of see how that worked. In terms of giving you industrial experience throughout your degree, we have a number of ways of doing this. So again, a number of companies on our Industrial Advisory Board will sponsor projects in your final year and your second year. So you may undertake a project that has actually been designed and sponsored by, say, Jaguar Land Rover, something they want you to look into. So that gives you an opportunity to visit their sites, to work with members of staff there, as well as members of staff at the university. Even if you do a project in your second or your final year that isn't industrially linked, we still formulate the projects in such a way to give them an industrial feel. So the way in which you have to turn in specification reports, progress reports, the way in which for your second year projects you will work as a team, and each team member should have a distinct defined role, very much the way it will work in industry. So we really try and theme these projects in an industrial setting. We also try and work with companies in sort of less structured ways and more informal ways throughout your degree time here as well. So one way is working with Sensor City. So Sensor City is a global hub for excellence in sensor technologies. They have a premises that sits about a 5-minute walk from the department, and it's a centre there that hosts a number of small and medium-sized companies working in sensor excellence. And the idea is to create a hub of excellence in sensors, in the Internet of Things, in data processing, and all the sort of things that surround sensor-based activities. So we have some teaching takes place in Sensor City. So you may go down there for various meetings with companies there as part of project work. Sensor City themselves, to say that there are a number of small and medium-sized companies. So a number of these companies will again sponsor final year projects for us. A number of them will take students on either full year in industry placements, or more often is the case, small summer or Easter-placed internships. So it's a great chance if you don't want a full year in industry. A number of these companies will quite happily take students for maybe a 2 or 3 month placement over the summer. So you could spend each summer working with a different company, learning different skills, different interactions, different knowledge, different bits of knowledge. Sensor City, through Sensor City, we also run a number of hackathon type events. So they'll have open events where they had one earlier this year where they were looking at healthcare technologies. So they had some of the companies based in Sensor City who work on healthcare technologies. They got members of the local NHS trusts in about problems and things that they think there could be technological solutions for. And a number of our students went along. And it was a very much an open discussion, discussing what these problems were. And then they split into small teams for the afternoon and tried to sort of brainstorm what solutions could be. And this gave students a valuable opportunity to see how companies were working, how the NHS was working, how they could form together, and where the students could sit potentially even now as part of their degree, or later going forward, where they might like to position themselves in terms of looking at graduate schemes, graduate placements to help address some of these issues and give them real insight into some of the thinking that goes on in these companies. We also have a student incubation unit. This isn't a unit where we incubate our own students. It's more a zone where we will incubate your ideas. So if you have an idea, a new technology, a new product that you think has some commercial value, then you can, well, we have space within our labs which form a student incubation zone. So you would typically go to your academic advisor, you would tell them you had this idea that you wanted to work on, and we can get you access into the lab. So you will be able to spend any free time that you have going into this lab. You will have access to the equipment in the lab, the power supplies, the multimeters, the oscilloscopes, things like this. You'll have technical support that will give you access to things like 3D printers, CNC machines, laser cutters, to actually make real life prototype products. And we'll do our best as academics to sort of give you the technical and the academic support there to understand the sort of theory of what you're trying to do. And we'll also use leverage on our various industrial contacts to try and help link you up with companies that may be interested in exploiting this type of technology. So to give you an example of that, we had a student this year who was looking to develop an automated fish feeder. He had lots of fish at home, lots of aquariums, liked them. But obviously, every time he goes on holiday, you can ask your neighbours come in and feed your fish. So he looked to set up a simple system where you would have essentially a barrel of food and a motor behind it, and it would automate and push a certain amount of food into the fish tank on an hourly, daily basis, however often it would need it to be, and then that could be preset. So he spent some time working on that in the lab. He built a prototype system, and then we went and managed to hook him up with several companies who were interested in looking at potentially developing that further as an actual product. And he's now sort of in discussions with those about how that may work. We also have a coding and robotics club. So this club is run by our department, but it's actually a cross-faculty club. So it's open to members from computer science, from physics, from chemistry, from mathematics, from geography. And it gives you, and as such, it gives you a great opportunity to work in a multidisciplinary environment. Because when you go out to the world of work, you go into a graduate placement, you're not just going to work with electrical engineers. You're going to work with mechanical engineers. You're going to work with mathematicians. You're going to work with physicists. So this gives you an experience of working with people from all these different backgrounds. And as the name kind of suggests, you work on developing new robotic systems, encoding and encrypting new robotic systems. So this is typically done for a series of challenges. So sometimes as academics, we may set you a challenge. We may ask you to design a robotic system that can do a certain task. Sometimes these are set by companies. We have very good links here at Liverpool with Unilever. So quite often Unilever will come to the Coding and Robotics Club when they have what they like to refer to as one of their crazy ideas. And they ask the Coding and Robotics Club as a first test, how feasible is this? Could you knock up a sort of proof of concept, a prototype system that may show that this can be done? The Coding and Robotics Club also take part in a number of competitions, both nationally and internationally. And in fact, one of these takes place with our sister university in China. So we have a sister university in China. They have a Coding and Robotics Club. And each year we effectively undertake robot wars with our sister university in China. So our club build a series of robots to undertake a series of tests and challenges. Theirs build robots to undertake the same tests and series and challenges. And then each summer, our students go over to China to take part. So here are some pictures from last year and some of the robots and some of the team. So they go out there, they have races, they have battles, they have robots that fire ping pong balls at each other last year. And they have a series of challenges and a series of competitions. And it's a really good sort of week, fortnight that our students get to spend out there. So it's not just great industrial experience in terms of sort of this working in a team environment, it's a fantastic travel opportunity as well. So this is just some of the ways in which we try and embed industrial interaction in our courses and give you vital employability skills as part of our degree programs. I hope you find this useful.